What up, homies? Do you think those 500,000 customers, consumers, should be entitled to their money back? Should get all their money back? Due to defective products being sold as new. You let me know. You guys decide. Should there be a boycott on Ford? You know, like when do these companies pay the price for charging you for something that you didn't get new, right? Give you an example. You buy a computer, but you get a used charger, like a battery pack. So you don't complain you're off warranty and you have to go replace the battery pack. It's $350. You don't have that money. Now you can't use your laptop. So you got to complain while the warranty is in place. And you're not complaining, you're really stating this is a ripoff. You want your money back, right? If it's defective, you're supposed to be able to get your money back, right? If you sell me a dartboard with dull darts that don't stick in the board, I'm gonna return it, right? But some people don't get that. And then there's people who work for these people who have control of large bases on social media who use advertising and shills. Do you know what a shill is? It's somebody who works for an entity far more powerful and richer than you'll ever be. And these people are sellouts. A sellout is somebody who has traded people for money, right? Has sold out their family for money, right? Has sold out other people for money. It happens all over the world, right? You could talk about Africa, you could talk about Korea, you could talk about China, you could talk about America, you could talk about Mexico, and you could absolutely talk about Canada when you say those things. So sellouts are people who will buy a company or become president of a company, and the shadow people who are even above the president, who you don't know are in control of that company. It's called it's very, it's like a sister organization, right? So you have $1 billion, $1 trillion company, and they make too much money, so they'll pump out a secondary company to offset that tax bracket that they entered over just recently. They'll send See, they own, when you have a huge company, you silently own the market, right? Nobody allows you to understand this. The votes are in, the decision is final. People are saying yes, 100%. If it's defective, you should get your money back, all of your money back. So, I don't know. How do you teach Ford a lesson? Do you boycott Ford? This is a big deal. 550,000 trucks, F 150s, with bad transmissions. You know how much a transmission costs in a 2024? Do you have any idea? Well, they sold 550,000 trannies that weren't even quality. You understand what I'm saying, right? Where is the checks? How were the checks not done? Every 10,000 trucks or 5,000 trucks, they should be running demos with these trucks when they're rolled out off the line and it's the first year of making this truck. They need to make sure this, and this goes for all companies. But why is it that this is happening on a large scale right now in this day and age, right? I could see in 1985 when we didn't have all um, these tuners. You can plug these electronic devices into computer in your trucks and cars and SUVs, and it'll tell you your tire has low tire pressure. It'll tell you your your transmission. It'll write a bunch of error codes down. You then go look at those, right? How could you release trucks that are filled with error codes? Do you think Canada should boycott Ford trucks? Question mark. Do you know the number one selling truck in Canada is a Toyota? Did you know that? Come on. Do you want to know why? Because of what I'm saying. They take care of you. If there is a problem, they take care of you. So, and this is breaking news. This is huge news all across the world right now. Ford is scrambling and trying to come up with well, I don't know, like, what would you do if you were Ford? I would quickly give all the money back to the people. If you want 550,000 trucks sold next year, you better give Canadians back every damn dollar they spent. And I bet you one of the few reasons that people bought those trucks this year was because some people had less options than ever before. Some of the truck companies were very expensive. Ford is recalling 550,000 F-150 trucks in Canada right now. Nobody knows about this. This just in. It will be on the news tonight. I am by far, I could have told you this story at 2, 3 in the morning. I just didn't feel the need at the time. Yes, now I was like, what if I bought the Ford? So here I am, helping you, being your voice, informing you on things you had no idea about, forming a plan, structure in order to deal with what has occurred to us, we the consumer of the truck. You understand? Accountability, holding Ford accountable right now, grabbing them by the nards and squeezing is important because they have really screwed up. And if it was Ford collecting money from 550,000 Canadians, they'd charge you interest. And they'd want their money, and if you didn't pay them, they go to a bank and get you they repo your truck. So the opposite has to be done to Ford right now. A good hard squeeze right now has to be applied by an Icelander. You understand what I'm saying? Stay tuned. There's plenty more coming, but you guys can chat amongst yourself. Talk about what it means. How does what I'm explaining to you make you feel? Leave a comment down below after the video, and I might post it and pin it. Today I'm going to get a hold of some insiders. I'm going to talk to some mechanics and find out exactly what parts of the transmission are failing, right? A transmission is, without a transmission, you're not running, right? You're not running if you don't have an engine, and you're definitely not running if you don't have a tranny. So here's what you can think about, right? It's like the heart or the ventricles, like the arteries all around your body, right? Stopped working, right? You can't, not only can you not shift gears, you can't shift out of park, right? Can't shift into reverse to get out of your driveway, right? So My Mustang just got a recall because of the backup camera not coming on sometimes. That is very bad. They used, well, I will speculate. I'm not going to say for sure, but I would bet it's the wiring harness is one of the cheapest wiring harnesses possible. So what has happened is they're using not faulty parts. It's not a fault. It's not like it's a loose wire. A recall means they have to switch out the wire harness because they use cheap metal, cheap plastic that degrades or breaks down over time. Malfunction due to IP60, whatever. It doesn't have a waterproof durability. It doesn't even meet standards at IP65, let alone IP66, which it should be if it's underneath your Mustang and you're flying down the highway and it's raining and you're hydroplaning. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be spitting everywhere under there. So yeah, I mean, I would call that your wiring harness. Let me know. Come back and let me know. Trust me when I say I am hash info and I'm a genius, but I didn't work on cars all my life and I don't claim to be a mechanic. But I'll tell you, I know basic stuff about a lot of things that get me by and help me from getting screwed over and suckered like a bunch of people. You understand? Very, 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 very upsetting. Also, it could be a power supply issue, maybe as well. But again, again, so it could be those two things. It could either be a faulty wiring harness, which is leaking water, or the wires have frayed from it due to bumps, and it's pulling. Something's pulling. Maybe it's not a long enough wire. You know what I mean? And it's kind of taut. And then as the your Mustang flares up and starts absolutely launching, it stretches a chassis or something, slightly. I mean, you're doing horsepower that most people haven't even heard of before, can't even spell out loud. So yeah, I would put it on your power supply. It's either not enough, you don't have enough power. I mean, or the third is it's your mother like glitch. It's shorting out. Not shorting out. Sorry, rather like it's a glitch in the motherboard type of thing. It's a computer, right? So it could be the video card, which is doubtful, but maybe it's in a bad spot again. The jostling of the car is loosened. Uh, Something to do with the video power supply or the video card. That's it. Or it's the wiring got jostled or wet, or it's cheap wire. The wiring harness itself is just garbage. It's one of those, and I wouldn't rule out any of them. It's probably a mix of two, if anything. The little bit of jostling has loosened or separated some wire from the connector, and it's gets humid. Stuff sprays up on top of your car, and then sits there. Your Mustang is sweating. It's so hot, so it starts to break down and turn into steam and slips in some places that aren't enclosed with, like I said, IP65 cases or greater. I'd put IP66. I mean, it's just the seal that's going to separate 65 and 66. What's up, Straight, my man? Straight, type something awesome in the chat so we can pin your comment. We're going to start out with yo, and then we're going to put up Buddy's tic-tac-toe comment there on his Mustang. What kind of Mustang you got? You got a 5.0? You sitting on one of them fast boys? You got a 96 5.0? Fastback? Man, my buddy, I swear the first 5 liter I sat in, my buddy, he was a cool guy, man. He was very good. No, not said hesitantly. He was older than me, but he had his teeth knocked out from a baseball bat. Super cool guy, and very nice guy. And 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, hit that floor. Do you think Canada should boycott Ford trucks? And why? Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying. I'm not going to block or ban you. I haven't made fun of anybody that loves Ford trucks. I'm just teasing. We grew up on Ford trucks. The F-150 was the workhorse of the industry that I used to come from, and they were affordable. They had low interest rates, which interest is for the devils make money off the truck and then again off interest, eh? Every vehicle in Canada should be sold interest free. Do you pay interest when you buy a hairbrush? You buy interest when you buy a quart of orange juice? A gallon of orange juice? You pay an interest? So interest is created by the devil, right? Money actually isn't the root of all evil. Interest is. Money, we've had money throughout time. You used to use seashells. So we'll take out the term money and we'll use seashells. We'll take out the term seashells and we'll say salt. You understand? So people worked, dug up the salt, which was it's essential, right? But we've gotten so far away from society thinks what's essential is what is essential, and it's so far from it. We are so misindoctrined properly, right? If you want to talk indoctrination, you should be talking about how to teach your kids about living from the earth, right? What does it take to survive? What do you need when you go into a hospital, right? The first thing you get when you enter a hospital is a mixture of salts in purified water. And that levels you out. You won't get any food for a little bit. They want to see what the hell's going on in you, right? And then when you do get food, you get lettuce, you get tomatoes, you get carrots, you get apples, you get a glass of juice. Nothing what your diet looks like on a daily basis. But do you know why that is? Again, to level you out, to straighten you out. 8, 9, 10, baby. But yeah, teaching kids is one thing. You know, you have so many outside influences that misguide, I was going to say my children. I do. I believe all children properly guided should be called my children, right? By each adult. It isn't just this person's child. It's everyone's child. You know, think about it like that and have less problems with creepy. There would be no creepies if we all learned to respect children. But go look worldwide at if you can find children working right now in factories, right? Look worldwide if you find children that have to go work for their parents and give every dollar they make to their parents. It happens in Canada every day. So, and I'm not playing. I've one of the smartest people that you'll ever hear from on this platform, social media itself, by far, that goes live. No editing here. I don't come at you with some great ego and gold chains all over me, and I'm driving Ferraris telling you you need a Ferrari. I don't do that, do I? I tell you my clothes are 12 and 15 years old and they come from Value Village, thrift stores. Yeah, I buy new shoes. I'm still wearing the same pair of shoes for 6.5 years, but I don't want anyone saying that I'm some kind of yuppie scum. I don't like that. I don't agree with the way people, YouTubers are on here. Like there's this guy, I Show Speed. I don't know what YouTube's doing, but he is allowed to influence children. Saying the F word, yelling, I'm going to the red light district, and swearing at people live on YouTube. In you know, I shouldn't be promoting this, but I just want you to understand the level of incompetence and evil that resides here. They're making your children dumber, period. Not everyone, all of them. You know, I heard a great comment from somebody saying how he was being bullied on FlipFlock and all these dumbass apps, Insta and FlickFlock and Facebook video or whatever live stream. These are all goofy. You should see the people that come over from Facebook and they come to YouTube. I can spot a Facebook live streamer instantaneously. There's a guy from Canada and he says how awesome he is. He goes to these like the most horrible areas and he trolls people. Like I've seen it. Like I didn't really understand why, but now I see it. Now he makes fun nonchalantly of people. He doesn't laugh, but he'll show it. And he understands what the internet is. The internet is low on IQ through and through. So they feed off this, and the comment section is just sour, just dirty, just making fun of, every 2 minutes there's another less fortunate person in the comment section being trolled, from his video. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. Not only do I not allow people to talk down to others in my chat, if you were to talk about someone without a house who is on the streets, who they say mental disorders and stuff like this, that person just needs a hug and love, yeah, sort of, they're going through something. It's not mental disorder. People get angry, people are stolen from, and you don't know that, you don't see the full thing. This person on the street is bitter, right? They've, millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires stole their house, right? Missed one payment, lost their home. 30 years struggling to make payments every month. And this one time, they just said, nah, right? So trust me when I say this is happening to Canadians right now. And I love everybody, but this is happening to Americans right now. I was just going to just say I love, like Canada, but I love everybody. It's happening to Russians, it's happening to Germans, it's happening to British people, it's happening to people from Africa, it's happening to people from India, so China. Sorry if I missed your continent, like Australia, not Antarctica. And I think I got all you Karens out there in the world. Some of you just don't get it. Like, I'm not going to name every country. I love everybody. It clears everything, right? I love all the continents we're not allowed to travel to, that they own and run us, and they make us dig for shiny things. You catching on to what I'm saying? Ancient old relics, lost through time, advanced relics. There was a show I watched. I can't even believe the correlation is this tight. It's called Warehouse 13. Just go look up the premise of Warehouse 13. Go look at the prefix, or however you word that term, of Warehouse 13. Ancient artifacts that are powerful, are real, right? Think of it like this. A pyramid is an ancient artifact, right? Many smart people believe these are power stations. But one thing they don't tell you is churches are power stations as well. So I'll prove it right now in seconds. Do you know the term cathedral? Do you know the term cathode? Cathode. That word comes from cathedral, all right? And you don't have to understand what I'm saying. You can learn about what I'm saying. The people who came before us were so advanced, they had free energy. They could pull it from the sky. It's called ether. We live on an ethereal plane filled with gases and an electric field in an enclosed circuit. It's an enclosed, meaning we have a dome, all right? Rastafari. Breakfast stream coming up next. We are a faster. I have been fasting for quite some time, not every day, but certain days we'll have a big bowl of berries. I also ate last night late in the night. It is 10:16 a.m. I will not be eating breakfast today. I will be straight up with you. I will eat at about 1:30, maybe 2:30 today. I have a 6-7 hour window, and I stay within it, except for yesterday. I was busy until like 10:30. I don't remember, but I was super busy. I'm very tired right now, and I'm going to catch up on sleep streaming from the couch again today. I did a sleep stream last night. Didn't have a great turnout, and I won't be doing any more if that video doesn't get 66,000 billion likes. We're very close to 20,000 videos, and I've been thinking immensely and very intensely on the future of this channel, or rather myself. And I don't really see a future for this channel. So that's sad to me. The closer I get to 20,000, the more I think I might wrap this up. So the lack of viewership that I receive as I grow bigger and bigger, it's disheartening, And I feel like I need digital lawyers sooner than later to begin what I've already started for, well, what's been ongoing for 6 years is me collecting analytics, screenshotting, taking special pictures you can't see I took because I use technology that's not connected to the internet. All right. I do not trust the companies that own the world. You have to understand what I'm saying. I do not trust them. I know where I come from and I know what you are. They don't want me to tell you. Do you understand? I've been warned several times through emails from very, very high up entities that can't fake the email. You understand what I'm saying? They own email. So I want to be very clear with you. I figured out what was going on and they silently came at me. I want you to understand this. There are very evil people in every city that do the bidding of these billionaires, poisoning people, driving people crazy, stealing from people, and it's called gang stalking. And they're very, very, very efficient at gang stalking. You can go look up the term gang stalking right now. They use private investigators on the highest level, which I've been told has been used against me here in Winnipeg in the last 7 years. Very disheartening. When I come to the table with all that I know, with all the special secret service that I have watching me, taking care of me, it's going to be very sad for the people that have done me wrong. You understand? I have never been a person to go out of my way to do wrong to someone. So for them to want to hurt me so bad, for them to want to take my money, for them to want to steal from me is next level shit. They have ruined my wages. My money on here is less than it's ever been. Not than in the last couple of years. I make a little, it's hard to explain. That's not true. I make more now than I did, but it's still less than I've made at, I'm not going to say when, because they watch closely. And I'm recording this. They could watch it later, but they record it as well. All these videos are kept. You see sewing video, they're not archiving that in their special underwater huge storage devices they have. Do you understand what I'm saying? They have sea containers worldwide underwater to keep them cool, with special refrigeration units that are, again, submersible. You have no idea the stuff that I understand and goes on. But do you know why they use secant? Do you know why that's like that? So it's completely, it makes it there, and then the plug is pulled completely, and it's just lays dormant once it's filled. Okay, it's on, but it can only be accessed by a scuba diver going in and making a like a firewire connection. Now they call it Thunderbolt 4. The Army probably has Thunder 99. But you don't know what I know, okay? Every single world leader is in cahoots. Every single world leader. Prove me wrong. You're telling me men that decide that they should take all of their countrymen to war can then, in 6 months, sit down at a table and look at each other? You know, if I was to go to war with someone, I could never sit down at a table and not want to leap across and just absolutely pummel them. You understand? But that's because these aren't men. Men that they say this, oh, wars are fought so you can sit here and do. No, that's not true. That's not true. Wars are fought for what's called the spoils of war. All right? And what happens is the winner takes the land, takes the people, and all the riches, all the water, all the natural resources, all the ancient artifacts, and all the natural gases, and, like I said, water, forest. They take everything. So when the next one is had, whoever loses, you lose everything and you will have nothing. So if you remember correctly what the WEF said, think about how closely the World Economic Forum works with world leaders. Think about that. This is all right in front of you. But think about how little you do on a daily basis to make change to this. We, the people, are taxed, and we feed these monsters in power. Monsters. Hang on, I gotta do the Biden. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Hang on, I gotta do the Trudeau. It's the same as the Biden. It's just called the Trudeau. Except he does it all over Canadians. Remember, you can't be me. I actually have a set of nuts the size of a Mustang. So, and they're not like inflamed or anything. This is how my mom had a hard time. She had to have a C-section, you understand? First words the doc said when the boat came to shore, when my mom's water broke, and the dock where I came out and first touched the dock, I'm a vessel. Do you know a vessel can be used as a term for a ship? Do you know in the Bible a vessel means human? Are you seeing what I'm throwing down? I'm one of the greatest seamen ever to live, bud. I ran out of gas probably 16 times. Not me personally. I was always like way younger than the person who I was out there with, and I was just, my head was down, shaking it. I felt like thumping the bigger, older dude in front of me. And he knew that. But I didn't. I made him paddle, and I swore at him the whole way. He's my boss back then. I was 15, 16, 17. Maybe 18, 19, 20, 21, probably last time that happened, 21 last time that happened. It's not fun. You want to taste death? You can sure taste it. Most of you thinking you get stuck in a ditch or you have to fight someone outside a bar fight, and you think your life is over. Man, those are the simplest things in my life I've ever had to deal with. Those things are, I'd jump out of a helicopter into the ocean. I'm telling you, from like 20, 30 feet. As long as I knew a person could do it without their eyeballs popping out, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'm scared of heights, but I would do that in a heartbeat because I have very little fear. But yeah, I don't want to risk dying, so I'm not going to stand on the edge of a building. I'm also never going to jump off a bridge like, these other people who come out and start talking about other people and mysteriously fly off a bridge somehow. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. But there's no one tough enough to even get me. Yeah, I understand? You also have to understand who I am. I'm actually somebody important. You could be one too, but most of you probably don't have nuts the size of a stang. So they don't really want to do any research on you, or you're probably not, like I said, not that important. It's not the ego. It's the lack of respect you have for yourself that makes you less important. You understand? Be somebody. Do something. Collect knowledge. Don't sit there and collect Care Bears and little dolls. You understand what I'm saying, right? I know a 60-year-old guy on YouTube collecting tiny little kids' toys. And he's not a good guy. This is why we'll mention him. I won't say his name, but I'll tell you, he is one creepy old dude. He's made about 1,000 videos bullying other YouTubers, picking on them, making up lies every day. He's definitely let's just say there's people out there, multiple people, that don't really care for the way he acts on YouTube. And he should learn to lay low, right? People in Washington should learn to lay low, right? You ratted out a lot of people. Good people, medical growers, completely ratted out. Some people I learned what this platform was used for, eh? By a lot of you. And I stepped away from you because you're all dirty rats, right? So there's like a 420 community full of rats, right? You all wanted beans from other people, and you do very little to get a lot, right? And if that's the type of people, I've been around those people since I was 11, right? So I don't need none of y'all, and none of y'all bring nothing to the table that I'd eat. You understand? Seriously, I'd never eat what you grow, not for once, not even a lick of it. And it's because you don't have a respect for things. You don't have a respect for yourself. So you go to these channels and you just uptake all this toxicity every day. You just go there and you listen to this toothless wonder smoking cigarettes and doing BHO dabs saying how tasty it is. Like loser city. Not for me. You guys like that kind. I don't. There's other channels that like to. There's other people that like to see other people in sorrow. So you go to their channels. Like there's a dude that punched his wife's teeth out. Says he's never threatened his wife or done anything to her. She's pressed charges and a bunch of stuff. He's cried every day on stream. People come to me and tell me they're like, sloppy heads will not stop crying. It's day 9. I'm like, well, like I mean, he knocked her teeth out. He beat his ex. His son doesn't want to be his son anymore. This is how bad this guy is. He beat his son's dog. He lived in a trailer. His wife, daughter, and son moved away to Mississippi to be very far away from him. So they stayed at their parents where he's not even allowed there. He punched her dad in the face. Like this stuff, you couldn't even make a movie that was really dirty and you never wanted to think about stuff like this again. This is this guy. This is this guy's life. So it's really sad what's out there. But he ends up beating his ex-son's dog. He was 9. He came for a visit. And he said, son, I'm going to show you how to train your dog. And he's laughing. He's like, yeah, my son was mortified, horrified. He didn't really talk to me when I left. I'm like, oh my God, I just can't believe how people are. I cannot believe it. And I know the wife had a cat named Jenkins, and he used to throw that cat around. I'd report it. Like YouTube never does nothing. He influenced the abuse of cats almost daily on his stream. And there was this skinny, really hideous witch that would go on there with red hair, puffer something, stay-at-home mom all day. And she was like, yeah, I throw my cat around too whenever he goes to my illegal grow room. I'm like, what makes you think that? Why would you say illegal grow room? It's like they were trying to entrap people. So they're like, oh yeah, who else has an illegal grow room? You know what I mean? She totally looks like a pig though. Not like an animal, like the cop. So it's pretty fucking weird what's out there, guys. Pill poppers too. Like most of this community I'm talking about, they all influence OxyContin, heroin, hillbilly, like all hillbilly heroin, whatever it's called. They do all these things on a stream. They talk about these tabbies and these blue pill, like not like Viagra, this other thing. I don't know names of stuff, and whenever they're called Xanny bars. These people do all this stuff. I hate drugs. Those are pills put out by trillionaires who try to kill people. Those are trying to ruin the public with those horrible drugs. Those kill people. Do you know that fentanyl is from China, and it's being pumped in heavily into our North America from China? Did you know that? But it's the new one, right? They found something even not even it's addictive, but they found something even more deadly, right? So anybody that would poison somebody will get the death penalty. I can guarantee you North America will change the law so that drug dealers can't there needs to be harsh penalties for these drug traffickers, right? So then if you are selling it here in Winnipeg or in Canada, you should get the death penalty because these things are known to kill people. Do you understand? So this is simple math, right? But as soon as you employ iron fist tactics like Saddam Hussein did, it was a very peaceful place. By the way, there were no weapons of mass destruction. George Bush lied. He was also not impeached, and he's also part of Kaya. So do you see how all this world works? Anybody, they want anything, they just make up a lie, go there and get it done. Do you understand this? One day we'll have a serious talk about all the money and where it's been going. Not to these three names, these Vanguard and Blackstone, and don't worry about those. Forget that. To the people, right? To the people within your community. You can Google it. You can FOIA. You can find out who is in your area the chairman or the treasurer or the vice president of these companies or in your area, right? So in your city of Winnipeg, we have a Bayer Pharmaceutical Group. They sit out of a little cubicle in a strip mall on Waverly area, but they're there, right? Bayer has so many lawsuits against it, yet we allow them here in Winnipeg. You know what Bayer does? They make a chemical that we use and spray throughout the city. Do you know what I noticed? That the insect population, the good insects, they're non-existent here now. I moved here 10 years ago. There was tons of bees, ladybugs, dragonflies. I haven't seen a dragon fucking fly in 3 years. In 3 years. I saw one bumblebee so far. It's literally like I have 7 more days of summer. So all you Karens worrying about, for instance, well, I'm not gonna, yeah, West Nile comes from mosquitoes. You're all so worried about West Nile. Fucking, I think one person died. I can't tell you right now. Google how many people died of West Nile in Canada last year. But what you're not Googling and what they don't public have information on is what those chemicals do to us over time. Do you know Manitoba is one of the highest provinces of multiple sclerosis, known as MS? It's it affects your motor skills. It does some things. There's a word it's slipping me. I've launched a bunch of info at you in 10 seconds with no fucking pieces of paper around me, nothing. Because I'm not a bitch, right? This isn't coming from a shill organization run by a billionaire that's like, oh yeah, by the way, read this next. Read this next. You go look around at these bitches on YouTube, they got full-on pieces of paper in front of them. They're verbatiming what BBC said, CNN, these other stations, right? So it's literally the news not looking like the news being shown by a person who's got greasy hair and whatever, and really, really fancy clothes, but and a flashy LED lights behind them, right? So you're hooked, right? Your pea brains are hooked, right? So y'all remember, you can't be me. Please stop trying. Most of you look silly. Some of you just look incredibly funny. I'll watch you for a minute, have a laugh while I do a couple rips, and then I'll close you out forever. But the way I see it, I think we should be boycotting Ford, because this isn't the first time this has happened, is it? And what happened the last 7 times Ford did a recall in Canada, right? So we're not actually getting anything out of them. If this was me and I had a truck and we didn't get a truck right now, and it was 6 months till I got it back, what do you do? What do 550,000 Canadians, probably half or a third of them, use that truck for work? What do they do right now for income? So this is why I said Ford has to be held accountable. All the money that you paid for that truck needs to be returned to you right now. And they'll have to pay you a daily wage for loss of income because of this mishap. There's gotta be a bucket of money that 550,000 Canadians can dip into. Ford's been around, I don't know, when was the last reset? Because what were we doing before Ford, right? No, most of you actually don't get what I mean by that, but you don't get where I'm going in my head so quickly. Before there was cars, what was there? And where was Ford at that time, right? Where did Ford go to school? How did Ford get the mechanical knowledge he had? Oh, wait, what do you mean there's ancient documents that they still haven't sifted through that the Army has, that they bring out technology 50 years advanced for them that we don't get for 100 years later? Wait, what? I'll see you next time. Remember, you can't be me. Stop trying. Most of you think this world runs on gummy bears. It doesn't.